At this point, you've already probably heard about this research paper right here on the AI takeover that it feels like everyone is talking about. Let me go ahead and read off some of this because this stuff is genuinely insane. And I quote, "The impact of superhuman AI in the next decade will exceed that of the Industrial Revolution." That is the opening claim. You see, this research, led by some of the brightest minds in artificial intelligence, predicts that by 2027, we will have AI agents that are better than any human at every single task. We're talking about a machine running at 500 times human speed, accomplishing a year's worth of progress in 1 week. Haven't we gone through stuff like this before? I mean, big technological changes that reshaped how society works? We have, multiple times. So instead of trying to predict where this is going to end, why don't we just look back at how this ended before? Because the best way to tell what will happen in the future is to look at what has happened in the past. And what I've discovered is that there have been 3 previous junctures where society has found itself in the exact same place. So I started digging, not into AI technology, not into machine learning, but into history. What happened to the millions of factory workers when machines took over production lines? What happened to the telephone operators when automated switching systems arrived? But more importantly, what happened to the people who saw it coming, who positioned themselves correctly, who refused to be submissive to the world around them? So let me take you back, way back. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine. The year is 1760. 80% of humanity works the land. Your grandfather was a farmer, your father was a farmer, everyone assumed that you would be a farmer as well. This system hasn't changed in 1,000 years. But then, steam power arrived. Between 1760 and 1840, in just 80 years, steam transformed civilization faster than any change in recorded history. But here's what they don't teach you in school. It was absolutely devastating for the majority. While millions suffered, a small group became unimaginably wealthy. Cornelius Vanderbilt built a railroad empire worth $185 billion in today's money. Let's take Carnegie. He used steam-powered steel production to accumulate $300 billion plus in today's dollar. Or the top dog of them all, Rockefeller. He leveraged steam-powered oil refining to become worth $400 billion in today's money. But here is what nobody tells you about this. For every Rockefeller, there were thousands of regular people who simply chose the right side. The blacksmith who started repairing steam engines instead of horseshoes, his shop became the local industrial hub. The farmer's daughter who learned to operate a loom, she became a factory floor supervisor, making 10x her father's income. They weren't building empires. They were just smart enough to stop fighting the change and start riding it. And I'll show you exactly what that decision was later in this video. But here's what should make your blood run cold. If it took 80 years for steam to create winners and losers, what happens when the next revolution moves twice as fast? Well, the answer came sooner than anyone expected. Just as humanity was catching its breath from the steam, electricity arrived. And this time it moved at lightning speed, 44 years from start to total transformation. Regular people, life-changing decisions, generational wealth. They weren't visionaries. They just saw which way the wind was blowing and they adjusted their sails. And here is the brutal truth about timing. Those who moved in the first 10 years captured 90% of the opportunity. Those who waited for proof fought over the remaining 10% scraps. 1990 to 2010, the third industrial revolution, the digital one. 20 years, half the time of electricity, quarter of steam. And for the first time in history, we were watching it happen in real time. Now, while millions of people watched their careers evaporate, Bezos went from garage to $170 billion, Zuckerberg from dorm room to 3 billion users, and another time, and yet again, the ones who didn't panic but knew how to take advantage of it, well, they made a lot of money. The pattern is unmistakable. Steam, 80 years, electricity, 44 years, the internet, 20 years, each revolution halves the timeline. This fourth industrial revolution will take about 10 years. I mean, do you think that's something totally out of this world to assume? I would say no. If we're looking at history, that sounds very reasonable to me. Let's go back to November 30th, 2022 at 2:13 p.m. Pacific time, because that's the exact moment everything changed. ChatGPT went live publicly. In 60 days, it reached 100 million users, the fastest adoption of any technology in human history. Radio took 38 years to reach that many people. The internet took 7. ChatGPT did it in 2 months. But that unprecedented speed made me wonder, If adoption is happening this fast, how fast is everything else moving? I need to tell you about a gentleman called Daniel K. He is a researcher who quit OpenAI over safety concerns, and his track record is terrifyingly accurate. In 2021, before ChatGPT existed, he predicted everything. Chatbots exploding in 2023, hundreds of millions of dollars in training runs, government chip export controls. Every single prediction came true. So when him and his team released AI 2027, everyone paid attention. The report doesn't talk about decades from now. It maps out month by month what is about to unfold. Now, according to their timeline, we are not at the beginning. We are already deep into the transformation, which, by the way, is basically what I've been telling you guys for months now. Summer 2025, that is literally right now, AI agents start replacing entire departments, not helping, replacing. By early 2026, these AIs begin improving themselves, each generation designing its successor, the feedback loop every researcher expects. By 2027, the report describes Agent 3, an AI that codes better than any human. Let's think together for a second. The internet was a tool to help you do your work faster, better, and more efficiently. AI is a tool that does the work for you. The internet helped you research to write better answers. AI writes the answers for you. The internet connected you to customers. AI handles the customers for you. Do you see where I'm going with this? Think about what 300 million jobs affected actually looks like in reality. That is the entire workforce of the United States and Europe combined. AI will not replace people who use AI. It will replace the ones who don't. And here's the part that should give you hope. Right now, the tools to position yourself on the winning side are out there and they are accessible to the everyday person. No degree required. You don't need tens of thousands of dollars of capital, no technical knowledge necessary. You just need to understand which path that you are on. You have entire customer service teams being replaced by chatbots. Now, the chatbots aren't better at empathy. They just never need a day off. You see, these aren't future predictions. These are LinkedIn posts from this week. Today, I'm seeing the exact same pattern with AI. There is a small group, maybe 0.44% of people who get this. I call them the ungovernable, not because they are rebels, but because they refuse to be governed by the same limitations that everyone else accepts. They are not going against AI or using it just for silly things. They are embracing it totally and transforming the way they work. And let me be very clear about something. You don't need to become the next tech billionaire. Look, over the past 3 months, I analyzed how people were succeeding with AI. So let me share what I found. First, I looked at AI-powered services and agencies. These are working great for many people out there right now. Faster delivery, higher margins, ability to take on more clients. The opportunity here is very real. Businesses desperately need help implementing AI. And if you have specific expertise, you can charge premium rates as an AI consultant. But there's also a risk. As AI gets better, the need for human intermediaries might decrease. Then I look at physical products enhanced by AI. AI can definitely help here, better designs, optimized manufacturing, predictive inventory, but you are still dealing with inventory costs, shipping logistics, returns and refunds. It is a proven model, but it does require significant capital and infrastructure. Now, software seems obvious, high margins, scalable, pure digital, and there are definitely opportunities here. Small, focused AI tools for specific niches can work. The challenge, you're competing with OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, plus one API change can destroy your business overnight. Then I discovered something very interesting. Digital products powered by AI. Now, I'm going to be very transparent. This is my favorite model, not because it's the only way, but because of some specific advantages that I have observed. You create once with AI Assistant, then you sell infinitely. No inventory, no shipping, no physical limitations, margins approaching 100%. Look, all paths have their pros and cons. Your choice depends on your skills, capital, and goals. But for me, digital products makes the most sense because it's the lowest barrier to entry, it's the highest profit margins, it's true passive income potential, there's no technical skills required, and you can start with zero capital.